Boilermaker fans, welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report for a special edition of the Purdue Report. Jake Dunn's reaction to Purdue's 34-10 loss to Ohio State. And Jake, for the second week in a row against the two biggest powers in the Big Ten throughout the history of the sport, they didn't embarrass themselves.
Yeah, I think Ohio State showed a little mercy on Purdue today.
Sure.
I think they could have scored a lot more than they did. I thought Ohio State did a really good job of really just kind of managing the game. They got up a couple scores, and then they basically just ran the ball for the game.
It was
for
a
the most
mismatch
part.
for sure.
Yeah. It was the first time since 1989 that the number one team in the nation has come to Ross-Ade. That year, that was Lou Holtz's Notre Dame squad that came. So Ryan Day's Ohio State squad had a pretty similar story. They flexed their muscles and fell, like I said, 34-10. So Purdue scored late in the game with like less than 2 minutes left. So really, it probably should have been 34-3, but scored 10 points on the best defense in college football. So I guess it's something you could be happy about.
Yards of total offense for Ohio State, and Purdue didn't have 100 yards passing or rushing. It was a mismatch. But again, they did not embarrass themselves 2 weeks in a row.
And Purdue actually struck first. They had a 12-play, 70-yard drive that was capped by Spencer Porrath field goal that had a very brief 3-0 lead. So,
hey, at the end of the first quarter, it was 3-0.
Yeah. I think it was the first time all year, the broadcast said, first time all year that Ohio State had not led the first quarter. So,
wow,
Purdue's making some college football history.
That's right. Julian Sayin was 27 for 33 over 300 yards, and man, those receivers are good.
After Purdue scored, Ohio State kind of woke up and rattled off 24 unanswered points in the second quarter, turning that first quarter where you thought maybe Purdue might have a little bit of hope. They kind of ran away with it by halftime. Ryan Brown didn't have a great day passing, 10 of 19 for 76 yards. Had an interception, his lowest yardage total in a full game this year. Malachi Singleton came in late, threw that touchdown pass there at the end to Jesse Watson for Purdue's only touchdown of the day. And Purdue did have a drought of touchdown-less Big Ten games. So, and then Julian Sayin, just very good. He was 27 of 33 for 303 yards and a touchdown. He did have an interception though, which I believe was his first in 5 games. But he was just smooth, efficient, and always in control.
Yeah, C.J. Nunley, nice interception.
Yeah.
And the other real positive was tackles for loss, 2 sacks. They made some good plays on defense.
The only downside about the defense, or I guess something that really caused the defense maybe not to be as effective, is kind of like I mentioned, Ohio State just ran the ball. They had almost 41 minutes of time of possession in this game. So just wore the defense down and just kind of bash their teeth in. So,
like we figured they would, like the best team in the country normally does against not very good teams.
Another key kind of theme that we've seen here over the past, really, kind of the whole season, honestly, but an opposing wide receiver has had a great game against Purdue. Go back to USC, Jacoby Lane had a really good day. Hank Beatty for Illinois had a really good game. Notre Dame's Jordan Faison had a really good game. Rutgers' KJ Duff put up almost a Rutgers record against Purdue. And Jeremiah Smith today had 10 catches, 137 yards, and a touchdown. So it seems like every game, a wide receiver, a top wide receiver for the opposing team's going to have a pretty good game.
That's not good against Indiana, because if anybody can compete with Ohio State's receivers in the country, it's Indiana's, and we're going to see them in about 3 weeks.
I should also add Max Clare had a pretty quiet but fairly solid game. 5 catches for 59 yards. So his return to Ross-Ade maybe wasn't as exciting as what he might have hoped, but I still had a fairly solid game. And this makes it 8 straight overall losses, 16 straight Big Ten losses, and 19 straight versus Power 4 opponents. Barry Odom obviously is committed to getting the program back to winning ways, but and it seems like the culture and effort appear to be there, but the results just aren't there yet. And in this role, that's all that matters is results.
Jake, I'm not as convinced now that the Barry Odom era will be as successful as I thought it would a few months ago, but I will say this. I will guarantee you right now that losing streak in the Big Ten will not continue through next year.
Wow.
They will
so you're saying
year. I guarantee they'll win at least one.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. But we saw today Ross-Ade was painted red. I know in the preview Michelle mentioned something about IU trying to kind of do a takeover of Ross-Ade. Ross-Ade was painted red today, so large Buckeye turnout, and really kind of made it feel like more of a home game for Ohio State. But I think fans.
I was surprised how much red there was in Happy Valley today.
Yeah,
crazy. That was probably 20% red.
Yeah,
State, which just doesn't happen.
Next step for Purdue here, they head to number 23 Washington. Washington may bump up a couple spots here if they can hang on against Wisconsin, but next Saturday night they'll travel to Seattle to play yet another ranked opponent and another big test. Then we have the bye week, and then, as we all know, the home finale, the old Oakland bucket game versus number 2 Indiana. So,
and the chance to shock the world.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Purdue in the Jeff Brom era had a knack for knocking off opponents like that towards the end of the season, but not confident it'll happen.
I'm not confident either, but man, rivalry games can get wild. And if you make a couple of plays early in the game, you just never know. I just hope they're competitive and don't get embarrassed.
Yeah, same here. I wouldn't be surprised if Kurt Signetti tries to run up the score. So
me neither.
I kind of prepare myself for that, and I think I think there'll be a fair amount of roster turnover again in the off season. There's really only 15 to 20 names you want to keep. You really want to try to keep from this team, and outside of that, you can kind of not feel bad about losing players. So I'm sure we'll probably start seeing that here towards the end of the month. Players either announcing that they're staying or leaving. The portal opening is in January now, right? So there's only one in January, so I guess it'll be a busy January here for Barry Odom and co.
I would imagine. Hey, Jake, you and I are normally, under most circumstances, going to be reacting to Purdue's basketball games as well. The number 1 Boilermakers beat Oakland 87-77 on Friday night, in a game that was quite a struggle. On Friday nights during the football season, we will not be doing Purdue basketball reactions, and a lot of times it'll be the next day. Still, want to get a quick reaction while we talk some football as well to Purdue's win, which wasn't impressive, but no reason for concern, unless you kind of double it with the Kentucky game, and maybe you start to be a little concerned, Jake.
I wouldn't say I'm concerned yet. I mean, the second straight game without Kaufman-Renn, who, as we know, and as a lot of people know across all of college basketball, that he'll be a really big part of this team. Yes, there were some concerning things, like it was kind of cold stretch there in the first half. They were shot 5 of 20 from 3 in the first half and were out rebounded 22-12. But they kind of regrouped a little bit and outscored Oakland by 10 in the second half. But I think Fletcher Lawyer put it pretty well in the post game. We're supposed to be the number 1 team in the country. We've got to be better than that. It starts on the defensive end. I think that's a perfect way to put it. You got to see some pride and fire on defense. Luckily, we have arguably the best player in the country and certainly the best point guard in the country, Braden Smith. He kind of flipped the switch and really provided a spark that Purdue needed. He had 20 points, 7 rebounds, and I want to say like 9 assists, I think was the stats.
That's right. Yeah.
So he
was
a
really
good game.
15 from the floor, 2 for 4 from 3. He was really good.
Yeah.
And I thought Fletcher Lawyer was really good. And I thought CJ Cox played well. And Oscar Clough, best game he's played so far, 9 rebounds and 14 points.
Yeah. Also 4 blocks and 0 turnovers in the 29 minutes that he played. So I think his effort was definitely needed. He's got a good motor and is just active, out there on the floor, which is what they need. To your point, CJ Cox had 14 points, hit a pretty big 3 late. Also, no turnovers for him either. So we've kind of talked about how
only 5 turnovers for the team.
Yeah, we kind of talked about earlier in the year before the season started how this team needs kind of the role players outside of the big 3, if you will, to be very efficient with the ball. Don't turn it over. Do your job. Score when you can. Score when your number's called. Things like that, and just show those winning qualities. And yeah, CJ Cox did that well. And we saw Liam Murphy and Jack Benner. They both had 11 points.
The bench was pretty disappointing. Jakari Harris didn't score. Omer Mayer didn't score. I didn't think either one played particularly well. They were 0 for 9 combined. They did make some nice passes. You can see that both of them are going to be a nice piece to this puzzle. But Liam Murphy, that guy just doesn't miss, does he?
He's a pretty good shooter. That's why Purdue brought him in, obviously. Going to need him to knock down some big shots this year. But Purdue's got to get this rebounding thing figured out. Oakland out-rebounded Purdue overall. And we talked about at halftime, they had a rebound advantage, which Purdue can't afford to lose that
12
advantage.
Offensive rebounds. You're bigger than that team. You can't give up 12 offensive rebounds.
There were some kind of lucky rebounds they got, either off like air balls or just bad misses off the rim. But Oakland did score 40 points in the paint. So obviously that's going to be concerned, especially against a team like Alabama, who basically either shoots threes or gets in the paint and scores at the rim. So
going to be tough.
Yeah, going to be a tough one. Obviously going to need Trey Coffin-Wren back. I would expect him to play in that as long as his hip is all right. But I would certainly expect him to play there and hopefully it should be a big game for him.
All right, we need to talk about Jack Benter. Clearly, he is going to be part of the rotation. I saw him play in high school a lot. I covered the Mid-Southern Conference, which he was in, and I was very impressed, loved his game. I did not think he would be a guy who, as a redshirt freshman, was a serious rotation piece for the number 1 team in the country. And it just continues to amaze me. These guys I see in high school, they go to Purdue, and I think, yeah, they're pretty good. And then they go to Purdue, and they turn into great players. And that's really a testament to not only to Matt Painter, but his assistant coaches as well, developing these guys. Man, I think Jack Benter is going to be a real, borderline star for this program.
I certainly didn't expect him to really have as big of a role as he has had this year. And yeah, lights out shooter. I think freshmen kind of struggle at least a little bit in their first real season of playing. So I think he's been pretty good obviously so far this year, but I think it's going to get even better as his career progresses here with Purdue.
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, thank you. Boiler up.
Jake and I will be back on Wednesday with a Purdue report. And I'm sure all of our time on that one will be spent on men's basketball, mostly previewing the Alabama game on Thursday. Please join us. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and and I love you, Susie.